Meta ads don't fail because traffic is broken. They usually fail for most coaching businesses because they're not designed for cold traffic. I've seen this over and over again. Coaches run ads, then they burn money, and then they say ads don't work for my niche. But in almost every single case, the platform isn't actually the problem. Now, there are almost always two main reasons, and they're always structural. And I'm going to break that down in this specific video. Now, for those of you who don't know who I am, my name is Leruo, and I've worked with multiple 7- and 8-figure brands, helping them scale their coaching, consulting, and course creator businesses, right? I've spent over $1 million in advertising, so I have a pretty good idea of what works and what doesn't work on scale. Now, problem number one, and I'm not really going to spend a lot of time going into this because I usually speak about it in a lot of my videos, is positioning on cold traffic, right? So the goal is when you start running ads, you need to be able to convert this person who's just saw you for the very first time as quickly as possible. And I usually say within 30 days for the type and nature of the businesses that I work with, right? And so if you want to convert that person within 30 days, right? And depending on your type of funnel, actually even sooner, right? You're going to need to have a lot of things dialed in, right? One, if you're already making 5 to 10K per month, you have the first part right, meaning that your offer works, right? And you have a product market fit. But beyond that, usually, right, you need a lot of authority around a unique angle that most people don't have, right? I've seen this over and over again. A lot of people have too much replicatability in the markets when you run ads. And this is really huge, by the way, in the health and fitness space. I see this all the time, right? Is that it's so hard to actually stand out. And so when you run cold, it becomes a lot more difficult. So you need this unique angle, authority around the unique angle. But I'm not going to go into too much detail on this, but definitely this is a huge step number one, right? Most of the times, ads don't fix shit. Like the only thing ads do is they add some more predictability to your business, right? But ultimately, you have to have the foundation, the base positioning, the base messaging there. Otherwise, it just doesn't work. All right, so with that said, now the second reason is usually because of a broken customer journey. Now, what I've realized is that certain customer journeys or funnels work better based on certain situations, right? So if you have an offer, you need to know what customer journey makes the most sense for that avatar, right? So for example, low ticket to high ticket funnels are one of my favorite, and I usually focus on this the most for all my projects, right? And basically how it works is that we bring in a customer with a low ticket sale, so something that's like really cheap that they can enter your world and build some trust. They've spent money with you, they consume your product, and then they ascend to higher end offers. Now, there's a lot of things that go into making that funnel actually work really good, but that's one that I really enjoy the most. And I have to say that that works really good for the business and digital skills online space. That's really good. So any offer that shows people how to create better content, Instagram, how to basically like refine their business, improve their business, start a business. All of these work really great with low ticket to high ticket. And I've actually found that a lot of the times it's actually working the best, right? But of course, it depends, right? Sometimes if you have a super upper end like customer, like a multi-millionaire, they're probably not going to buy a low ticket offer, right? So it really depends. But from my experience, I've actually seen that low ticket to high ticket has worked really great in those niches. Now, when it comes to health and relationships, I actually find that low ticket to high ticket doesn't actually work for us as well as the business niche, right? And primarily because in the health and the relationships niche, it's usually less about information and it's usually more about personal accountability and support. And because of that, they usually want solutions that are more personal and have this very emotional touch point with people, right? And so that's where you see more stuff like DM funnels, like running ads to a profile, and then you have your DMs, and then you book them in for a high ticket call. You don't even need a low ticket offer, right? Or you have a webinar funnel too, right? Where you run ads to a webinar and essentially you convert them there, right? So depending on your situation, one works better than the other. I've seen for the fitness space, the DM one crushes it really, and for relationships also, but I would definitely prefer webinars over DM funnels long term, just because I find that they're way more scalable, right? But once again, I generally try to focus on the low ticket to high ticket funnel for the business niches, but this is just an important one to keep in mind. To summarize it all in all, the two things that you need to make sure that you need to have dialed in before you start running ads is one, you need to have positioning that works on cold traffic, right? You need to have a unique angle, great authority around that unique angle that people can understand, that they can identify with, right? That makes you different to the competition, right? To the other people that are doing this, right? Second to having a unique angle and a unique positioning is you also need to have a great customer journey that makes the most sense, right? If you're the business, online skills, digital, low ticket to high ticket, I love that funnel so much. It's my favorite. But if you're in relationships or in the health niche, it might make more sense for you to do something like a DM funnel or actually a webinar funnel. So those are usually the two first important things that I would definitely try fix before trying to run meta ads. And we've seen that when we adjust these things, they make the biggest impact. On my channel, I have more videos around low ticket offers. I have more videos around positioning, more videos around customer journeys. And so if you want to get more content like that, just drop a subscribe. And below this video, I also leave a bunch of resources that you can use to basically go deeper into this type of content, or even learn how you can actually work and apply to work with us so we can help you scale your offer. All right, with that said, guys, I hope you have an amazing day, and I can't wait to one day see you on the beaches of the world.